Today we're going to be doing fuel lines and a carburetor on this Husqvarna 36. Also, I've always been curious as to what kind of port timing these things have. So we're going to pull the muffler off, we'll get the clutch off, we'll set a timing wheel up on this 36, and we'll see how it runs compared to other stuff. Well, the first thing we're going to do is get this clutch off of here, and to do that we're going to have to stop the piston. Get this plug out. We'll run this adjustable piston stop down in here. All right, snug against it. Now, there's this tool here. It goes these have reverse threads, so they will turn to the right to come off, which it says off and an arrow to the right there. Get it snug against it so it's not knocking a hole in the piston. Bring her off. Part number for the clutch removal tool is 530-0311-12. To check your clutch, you want to make sure that this meat here is at least 1 millimeter. So the way that these are set up, unless it is taken apart, you're going to be kind of hard pressed to get a caliper on it there. It'll go right beside of the piece here, it'll go right beside of it there. But as far as actually getting on it where the measurement needs to be, according to this, you're probably going to have to use a scale for, as long as you're 40 thousandths. But right here, it's best to take something that's going to measure in 30 seconds, and you can see you're at about 3/30 seconds. It can be kind of challenging to get calipers around that piece right there. You're going to have a hard time doing it. But a millimeter is 39.4 thousandths. And you can take a scale, it measures in 30 seconds. Lay your scale right there. You can see you're at 3/30 seconds, 31.25 thousandths on the 32nd. So 90 thousandths means it's within spec. There's nothing in it really regarding the drum itself, and typically the drum is going to wear out here before you would ever have to worry about anything on the inside. So whenever your chain starts slipping, that's whenever you'll go to replace this. And if you get in a situation where you had this thing apart and you couldn't remember how it went back together, the book will also have exploded diagrams of each saw. Here in the exploded parts diagram, you will see the order of the washer that you have there first, needle bearing, drum, and then your washer that goes inside of the drum before you put the clutch on. Down to the old Mini here, but this shows you all the stuff that is covered in the manual, everything from that old 200 series, a couple of the 300, 394, 3120. But you'll have technical data. You can see heated handle stuff, things with checking the generator. Now we can pull our starter cover here. Next, we need to remove the muffler so that we can see our exhaust port, be able to see where the piston is going to be for the timing. And you're going to have one in here behind that cover. All right, there's a good bit of carbon in there. Piston looks good though, no scoring. All right, the wheel is set up and we're top dead center, piston's up top. We're gonna come on around. Looking at about 106 for the exhaust. Transfers are right there. About 122, 121, 122. Yep, that's about 70. And let's double check our wheel. Yes, sir. When you took the recoil off, some of the screws tie in and help hold the anti-vibe mounts and hold the bottom to the top. You have this one back around on this side over here underneath this cover. When you pull it off, it'll allow the whole handle to pivot up and can help you when doing the fuel lines. We're still going to use a wire to fish it through, but that allows you to pivot like this right here if you need to clean this out and stuff and prepare it for your new line. So if you needed to replace the tank vent, you can get to it and see it. Here at this point, we're going to snip an angle on it. Going to push this through the back side. Something like this right here. Here you want to help it just get started so you have all the leading edge of the line starting down in, and then a little lubrication. May help to twist a little bit. Amount of back pressure up here with the pulling motion. You pull back and help it through. You have enough out to comfortably put the fuel filter on it. All right, once your fuel filter's on, make sure that it'll go in here and lay correctly without kinking excess. You can pull it back out to let it lay right. The other end will go back up through this part quite easily because it's a larger hole. So it's fed through. It's not much resistance from up there. The hole's a good bit bigger than the fuel line. With the way that the carburetor goes on here, this is going to come up and it goes around the top and back over to here. So I'm probably going to put all this stuff here close to back together where it's going to go, and then we'll fit this to it and cut. All right, sometimes you got to unhook this to get everything to seat back in there right, but get that front plate on there and then get these studs started back where they're supposed to be. You kind of feel where it goes back into that header wall there. They kind of seat themselves, and after that you can figure out if your wire is going to go underneath this tab and this arm here, and then hook it back up down here. Once you get it kind of mocked up there where it's loosely started, you're probably going to want to go ahead and put these two back down here in the bottom. You get these two studs right here taken care of, 7 millimeters. After that, you have a good idea of how much of this you're going to need. You can get it lined up there and cut it off and get it put back on. We soak that insert in gasoline. We're doing this and get that carbon off of it before we go to put our muffler back on. You can get both of these top two started a few threads in as you're snugging this down, and then that way you can assure all of your holes are lined up. This comes through here. Put my piston stop back in so we can put our clutch on and snug it down. Washer, drum, washer, clutch.
Be mindful that on the 4 recoil cover screws, the bottom left and top right are fine thread machine screws, and top left and bottom right are coarse thread plastic screws.
Put the top cover on because the linkage, it's what holds that linkage in place.